The opposition leader Dr. Kenny Anthony claims in 2005 the SLP administration granted Richard Frederick concessions for 4 villas in Marigot Bay under the Cricket World Cup accommodation project. It was part of sunset legislation that expired upon completion of the World Cup. Dr. Anthony says then a private citizen, Frederick met the requirements.
We gave him 50% relief of vendors' tax and property tax, 100% waiver of import duty and consumption tax on building materials.
Dr. Anthony alleges on April 10, 2006, his administration agreed to extend the concession to May 31, 2007, and the new United Workers' Party government reset the deadline to December 31, 2007. The Cricket World Cup Accommodation Act expired in 2007. Now, despite this, the opposition leader alleges Richard Frederick, now the housing minister, this year sought an extension of the concessions for the villas under the Tourism Incentives Act. Dr. Anthony claims the documentation shows the process took just 1 day.
They lie so much. Frederick applies for the concessions on the 18th. They did the cabinet conclusion the 17th of June, the day before.
The opposition alleges detective work by the staff of the Ministry of Tourism unearthed details that changed the course of events.
And when they investigated, they then found that of the 4 villas, 3 of them had been sold. It makes sense now, right? It makes sense now, right?
Dr. Anthony charged the cabinet upon receiving this information decided to grant concessions for only 1 of the 4 villas at a meeting on July 17, 2009. The opposition leader says that decision was eventually revoked in August 2009, this month, following the judgment in the now infamous Tuxedo Villas affair. But Tourism Minister Alan Shastney disputes the opposition leader's claim that 3 villas were sold. Alan Shastney believes the matter is a non-issue, saying the Tourism Ministry exercised due diligence in the matter and the minister has since paid the duties on the properties.
Since when he had constructed it, he had sold 2 of the villas, and he still had 2 villas. He had 1 villa that was already up and a second villa. Cabinet's interpretation or thought at the time was that fact that the concessions could be given on the original concession, and all we were doing is proposing to extend the period. But on further investigation by my ministry and information that was provided by my ministry, Cabinet decided not to go in that direction. But long before even that had taken place, Richard Frederick had already brought in his stuff and paid his duties.
The opposition took to the market steps Thursday night to ratchet up support for a national protest in the city of Castries on Thursday, September 3rd, 2009.